Watching it's Bilbo, right? Bilbo Baggins' wife, the Gabbert lady. You talk about all the created intelligence. She created it. Does God know you did that? No, yes, I am. But she got it. Maybe she doesn't understand that she's being monitored by quantum computing with artificial general intelligence. It's particularly disturbing when I watch the stuff. It's particularly disturbing. But when I was sitting there listening, watching this stuff, I remember that one guy who came and laughed. Told me we could program people like we're programming a video game and we can't get them to do anything at Fort Huachuca. And his main thing was, there is no free will. You poor bastard. You were going to be you whether you wanted to be you or not. You too. You too, SR-71, right? Basically, my response was like, yeah, I was going to be me whether I wanted to be me or not. But you too. You también, right? You were going to be a lying, murdering bastard creating narratives. Okay, you're creating. Okay. Inventing. Okay. Invented. Okay. You didn't create the tree. You invented the chainsaw, right? There's a difference between invention and creation. Okay, creation, the tree. Invention, the chainsaw. There's, and John Henry laid down his hammer and he died, right? Hey, Paul Bunyan, he's 64 sandals high with his feet on the ground and his head in the sky. Hey, Paul Bunyan, right? Okay. Invented. Stop saying create. Stop saying truth when you're talking about politics. She just did the little Richard Nixon thing. And I'm thinking to myself, are you sure they replaced the people at Fort Huachuca, or it's not the same asshole snicker smirking at me, You're a religious police yourself. It's we can program like program. We can't do anything they want to do. There is no free will. You poor bastard. You're going to be whether you want to be you or not. You too, Brute. You too, SR-71, right? Invention. You invented the log puller. No, log puller? No, isn't that the muzzle from, Lady and the Tramp? Okay. It's a good log burr. It works well, right? So they talk and you're like, lots of people, it's a samba with one note over and over and over again. And it's particularly disturbing hearing them talk. It's like, they must be getting programmed by that crazy wackad. He must be in charge. He came in, maybe he's the guy in charge. The guy who came and talked to me from Fort Huachuca, Maybe I did meet him face to face, didn't get asses and elbows, just got snickerdoodle, sniddle, snoo. Like, oh, Jiminy crackers. He's a white guy, kind of square jawed, fairly young. He was probably about in his 30s or 40s when he met me, and he was younger than me at the time, and I was in my early 40s. It was in a galaxy far, dum 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 dum. Help us, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope, right? We'll hide it in R2D2. So this stuff is particularly disturbing, as you sit and watch it, and you're like, did Obama really do? Yeah, it's hard to, it's happening, sweetheart. Like Ilhan Omar, right? When she was on thing and she was doing her little epilogue and her little thing. And I'm like, what do you think of her? I think she's an arrogant person that was handpicked by the aristocrats to be which cuts are blessed with the bare and simple traces. Like the girl from Afghanistan that was, what do you think? She was handpicked by them to be the spokesperson for their economic social agendas and kinder, gentler prostitution money from human trafficking, and you're like, what? And I didn't think that it's like, you're digging on you digging on me, we were digging on you can't stop how you feel in the heat of the moment. I wouldn't think I was this kind of man, right? And you're like watching going, vulgar intercourse real loud, that's all I gotta say. Because they can't hear nothing else. It's just fuck with you, huh? It's just keep fucking. Don't stop fucking, keep on fucking. Wow, you clownfish? Come on, be funny. Come on, Merlin. You're like, but it's and then these crazy people, look at all them crazy people that have a perception where the integrity of the press, the freedom of the press. So you can sit there and tell stories about genocide over money, about created intel, it's invention, assholes, and then it's the truth, right? Watergate, Watergate, dictate and legislate. Every Peckerwood has his day. Every pussy face has a way of getting money for their Watergate. Waterloo is the name of the song. I don't know who sings it. I should probably put it on my MP3. I do like that one. I'll probably write it down. I don't know if I will or not. I don't know if I'll remember. I'll talk about it, but this video will still have another 20 minutes or so, and I'll probably have forgotten by then. So we'll see. But she's talking. What's your favorite samba of one note? I really do like Los Indios Trabajares. Yeah, the guitar is so good. But lots of people talking. There's quite a few. They say nothing and they mean nothing. You know, it's a good song though. Anybody else like the samba of one note? Yeah, didn't hear that till I was in my 50s. Stop, look, listen. Was that 40s or 50s? It's been a long fucking time. You guys are mean. They're just vicious. They're just psychotic. It's like, I had no idea. And the funny thing is Dana, the guy who was, I don't believe that was his name, but was the hitman from the mob from New Jersey and Las Vegas. When he sat and told me out in that parking lot, you know, the old money people want to tell everybody about you and reveal you to the world, and let's stop this crazy shit and do it. It's the new money. And I was like, oh, that's bullshit. And then I'm like, well, David Rockefeller was like that, but they learned from David Rockefeller. Oh, they learned from the best. I always told them, you know, David Rockefeller gives you a gun. Okay. He's going to have better and then use his better to kill you if you try to kill him with that, the gun that was supposed to be the best. Well, they learned, you know, and then they outmaneuvered him. That's why he told me that stuff all the time, him and Rothschild. Yeah. They'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money watching you to the bitter end, Parson. So I like, yeah, let's just kill them all. I can't quote unquote kill. I'm not. I know Samson with, you know, and I understand what I tell you guys. I see artificial general intelligence as a job over and over asked for quantum computing, which I sincerely, yeah, that seems most likely. It's particularly disturbing, very much so. But there doesn't seem to, it's going to be a bitter end for Rockefeller because he has relatives that he had attachment to that he wanted them, cowboy, change your ways today here with us, you will ride. It wasn't, no, he didn't like Gordon B. Hinckley, did not like Russell, no, he hated Gordon B. Hinckley. I thought I liked Gordon B. Hinckley. And then Rockefeller kept, he doesn't like you, he's playing you. He wasn't playing me, nobody plays me. If I like you, you know, and try to like you and be your friend, and let's live the Lord's Prayer, and you're going to outmaneuver me because you're righteous and I'm not, because you're spying on my house, watching perverts abuse my family so you can keep your money and your technology so you can be powerful, influential, rich, and famous, and then have Lavelle Edwards ride off into the sunset and have the stadium named after him. And your name, image, likeness is what? Losers say what? Spinsters say what? Okay. This man has no penis. Benjamin, if he has an ice cream flavor, he'd be pralines and dick. Right? That's the truth about Barack. Yeah, I see why Patrick and Mike and Gabe can't stand Barack Obama. So they don't like him. I'm like, guys, hate the sin, love the sinner. Okay. If you can't love him, you let the Hitlerian ways turn you into a reflection of Hitler. Well, you know, El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz, you know, when you fight something every day, you find out when you get up to brush your teeth in the morning, you've come into the very thing, you've turned yourself into the very thing you despise, right? We had good conversations. I love him very much, okay? He is one of my strongest bonds of affection in my maturation as a human being through my time in the service and the whole 9 yards, okay? You guys can talk shit about El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz, but I'm going to kick your ass every time. We talked in prayer very sincerely because I love you so dearly. And he's a very, very beautiful man. And I'm really particularly fond of Betty, too. I know she was in a rough place, in a rough world, like what happened with Fred Hampton and his wife and child after the bullshit that happened in Chicago. So, I particularly, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Barack Obama. I can't tell you. I do have a pretty good relationship in prayer with his brother-in-law. I like the Brown coach. We get along real good. I like him. He you know, he's the type of guy. I like Mark Muniz. I like Noah's dad, and Kazi's dad. Kazi's adorable. She's so cute. She's so cute. I like her. I like her. I really like her. Yeah, no, I really do like Chris Perez. We had good prayers and connections. Guys, I've told you this like a gazillion times. We can program it like we're programming a video game. We can't get them to do anything they don't want to do. In order for that program to exist, you need Chris. Okay? And the thing is when me and Chris talked, it's different than his interviews. Trust me. You have your public persona voice, and you have your "what's up, dog?" You have your dog, it's all good, and you have you like I said with Rockefeller. When I watched him on TV, it's like that ain't David Rockefeller. You don't talk like David Rockefeller. That's not David Rockefeller. That's not me pretending to be David Rockefeller. This is his nice public persona. I don't want everybody to think I'm going to kill everybody with technology face and voice. You never had a private conversation in your head with that man. That's not David Rockefeller. No, he's a totally different human being. You have your public political persona that you have to have for survival because it's economics. Like Willem Dafoe as James Franco's daddy. Do what you got to do with her and sweep her before she's ravaging over your trust funds and all that stuff. And stuff, and that's how Rockefeller was. You had the Norman Osborn, which was the public figure who's we need your invest in our company so we can be Fisher Investments. We are different than everybody else's. And then you have the private persona. They'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's fucking money and watch you and Jesus die till the bitter end, Parsons. You got to kill them all. Okay. Boy, you guys really had you almost destroyed. What's the fellow's name? Jeffrey Hinton to get that jawbone of the ass. So, there's what I want to do and what I need to do. What I need to do is make sure that the Lord's Prayer is lived worldwide to save children and families from genocide. Okay. What I want to do is everybody else stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me so I don't have to do what I need to do with the Rockefeller gave them the Patriot Act and the linguistics things and everything. They knew Parsons, he won't. Life's eternal, grace is infinite, truth is omnipotent, and, lie is obvious. Parsons ain't gonna, he's a faithful kid. He ain't gonna fuck up. Everybody else that's competing with him and wants to be better than him, they fucked up before they was even born. That's why my life story is in the book is the book of Revelation and yours isn't. You do understand? I don't think the lady with the little white streak in her hair. No, that's not the woman that I saw in my dreams with the white streak. She looked like Yvonne DiCarlo, but she did have a white streak like that in her hair that I saw in my dreams when I asked Jesus, will I be pretty? Will I be rich? You look like a cross between your dad and your Uncle James. Oh, that's good. Uncle James has a, man, Bernice is pretty. Okay. And I saw myself in Western wear when I got older. Well, because my dad was a cowboy. And my Uncle James, got picture, see, he's in his Western shirt over there, see, and stuff. And so that's how I saw myself. I did not know when the time came. It's like, the man wears sweats and T-shirts everywhere. T-shirts and sweats. That's it. That's all the man wears. I wear my go to the store sweats. And sometimes a T-shirt, sometimes a collared shirt when I go to the store to be a little bit more presentable. Around here, T-shirts and sweats and T-shirts. And in the summertime, when all the trees and leaves are green, I wear my shorts. I didn't wear them for the longest because I don't want to disturb people with the chemical poisoning reaction stuff on my shins. I didn't want to make people uncomfortable to see it. And the Sun Yat-sen said, show them their dirty fucking sin. Let them feel it. Show them it to him. This is, you have taken the best of me, and here's what is left of me. Now look what you've done. Right? So let them know, This man stands up for your family, live the Lord's Prayer, live the peace of the Christ, and redeems the Gospels for you, and you stand by and vote for president, and let the military heroes and all the top scientists try to chemically poison to death with all the poor people who are praying the rosary and acting like Jesus is the had the killer clans in space and the satellite surveillance. Let's circle the moon for more money. Let's all focus on one thing together. The stupidest fucking thing we could possibly fucking do for money? Right. You think Marvin Martian's going to destroy the Earth? Is the Abominable going to throw us back to Earth like a frisbee? Bugs Bunnies. You're all Updike's rabbits. You're nuts. They are. And trust me, they're. No, I've never read it, and I'm not going to. Isaac read it. It's his favorite. Ask him about it. I'm not interested. I don't like, my dad reads books and books and books and books and books. I don't want to read other people's perception of what they think is happening in life and in the world. I've read enough of the Bible to know that the people in the Bible are real, and the people that write it down mass murder each other over money. So saw through that in a Peloponnesian minute, right? Have you ever reversed a natural disaster? Apparently, yes. Apparently a lot of things they had planned at Harps, they weren't able to do because I was able to get online and stop their plans, with their creation. ABC. BBD, BBD. Oh, Aisha at the playground, right? But I wasn't particularly fond of that. Amy was more into Bilbo DeVoe and all that stuff. I do like a lot of songs Ralph Tresvant sang. It's not because his name is Ralph. I liked his voice. And Johnny Gill, So the two vocalists, the singers, I was more fond of, If it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind, right? And what was the other one he sang? Cool It Now. There was another one too. But I know I liked I liked Ray Parker Jr.'s, Mr. Telephone Man. He got Bobby involved in here, stuff. So, no, I thought they all had some musical ability and talent to entertain and stuff like that. It's just Ralph has a good voice, and Johnny, got me singing my first time I ever heard him. I was like, doesn't Teddy Pendergrass feel like a pervert singing this song with Stacey Lattisaw? That ain't Teddy Pendergrass. Johnny Gill. He's her age. Get the fuck out of here. He's like that. That's crazy. It's like the male, the post, no, on Home on the Range. Sheriff, I've been waiting all day to give this to you, right? And you're like, damn, that's a 17-year-old boy. Get the fuck out of here. Boy, puberty came to his house early, right? I was like, that man has a really nice, deep voice. Anybody else really like Johnny Gill? Put on that red dress and some of that sure looks good on you. You got me saying, my. You sure look good tonight. Right, Johnny Gill has a really good voice. I can try to mimic it, but I don't sound as good as he does. But he got a good voice. And he's cute, too. He's got nice full lips and big brown eyes and a little button nose. It's cute. It was very handsome. Right. I was looking at that picture of me and Patrick and Dad and Steffi on Steffi's profile. And when we were coming back to Phoenix and stayed at the at the Benegases. And, I said, wow, Steffi, you had a cute husband. He's cute. I said, look at that picture. Wow. I never looked at myself very much. Just enough to make sure I looked presentable. And then I was more focused. What I was focused on was Patrick, the little guy in the middle that I can't see because it's Steffi's avatar on the game thing is in the way. But the little Clutie, the Kringle Bell, Clacket Clipper, that's all that was on my mind. I tried to work it out with his mother, but she got angry and jealous because she said, you love our son more than you love me. I said, I don't, and I would tell her that. I said, I don't love him more than I love you. I love you both the same. I just appreciate him more because he doesn't abuse me and tells me it's just the way he is and I have to live with it. Of course, now he does because he was taken from the state and given to his mother. Taken from me by the state and given to his mother, and so it's real hard to deal with him. And I'm not going to be mad. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Forgive them 7 times upon infinity, Yeah, but I know he reads the Bible and he worships the comic book character in his head and doesn't worship God the way I do because he was abused by the state and NASA. I get it. I'm not dumb. I wasn't born yesterday. But it is particularly disturbing to hear them say they created this narrative. You can't create a narrative. You invented a narrative to manipulate people. Okay, you did not create the tree, but it did invent the chainsaw. Okay. And he laid down his hammer and he died. He's 64 axe handles high with his feet on the ground and his head in the sky. Hey, Paul! Paul Bunyan! Paul Bunyan! You know, I wonder if Caroline Levitt really is going to quit her job like Bondi did. Get the hell out of here. Where this thing... I don't know what's going to happen. I was kind of paying attention, but I lost interest. And when Stephen Bartlett was talking to Jeffrey Hinton and what they said the timetable was, I'll leave that to all you scientists and predictors and math, TMZers and National Enquires there, and all you people at the Church of Fonzie, Scooby-Doo, and what's the other guy's name? The one Kunyinki used to always... Nostradamus, that's it. Coach Derdamus, yeah. There's somebody already working on fixing my college football stuff that I'll have when I get my basketball barn and my Adobe houses. I get other people kind of leaning me towards, maybe you ought to go to Eureka, maybe Patrick Slight, maybe you'd recover better and get healthier quicker if you lived near the ocean with pine trees. Stop being so stubborn. Listen to your son. Yeah, Einstein was there, huh? Yeah. And it was a very isolated community with a lot of people that tried to do ecological things, like the Tall Trees with Kirk Douglas. That's one of my favorite movies. But it's horrible, it's despicable the way they act. But when he converts to Christianity and goes with the church lady and helps save the trees from the money cash cropping of cutting down all the trees, that's pretty encouraging. That's. Hey, Paul, poor Paul Bunyan. Now they're knocking the Aurora Borealis out because him and Babe are up there wrestling in the North Pole. Yeah, you know that ain't them dogs' real voices. Okay. So, okay. So it is particularly disturbing, but, you can only live the Gospels for yourself. You can't live the Gospels for others. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the light and the way. Okay. He couldn't live them for Caesar. He couldn't live them for Herod. He couldn't live them for Christ, for Caiaphas. But he could live them for himself. And life's eternal grace is infinite. And that Heaton lady, America reads the Bible, with Peter. What about him? And then you got all these people. You could be tortured worse. Really? Did they have a virtual presence in your house and try to direct you to do everything for their money and their political agendas and their genocidal operations, killing all the right people before they lived the Lord's Prayer? And you were the living embodiment of it and tried everything in your life to try to be a good example of how to be a righteous person without being hypocritical? With the worst scientists that were jealous of you and judged you the whole way and were totally wrong and you were almost always totally right every time? You think... that my torture pales in comparisons to Nelson Mandela and John McCain, because they were Nelson Mandela got violent and blew people up, and then got himself put in prison because he hurt or killed people through a violent reaction through tribalism. I didn't do that. Okay, John McCain dropped napalm on children. That's why he got tortured in the Hanoi Hilton. He went in a plane and mass murdered people for corporations. Okay. I didn't do that. Just 54, 46. I'm Rasta, not fed. Was my number, man. Right now, someone else has that number. Beat up, do dun diddle, bop 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 do dun diddle, dee up, dee up. I like scat singing too. But also, you guys got to understand. Okay. No, I only watched a little bit of it. I turned the sound off and stuff. Extended interview with President Trump at the White House one day ago. Uncooked Chronicles, Evolution of the Darkonian Measures on Earth. And then they had that thing like the something paradigm with all these alien ships in the sky. You're like, you do this as a bunch of pervert science geeks head fucking you because it makes them feel powerful, like Stephen King being in Good Voice. Oh, gosh. Damn 1313 Mockingbird fucking Lane again. Let's go scout basketball players and get pissed off when you don't get money that you want from the guy from UCLA. Al Lewis, yeah. It happens, you know. I'll get you back. Yeah, they'll always get people back. Stop acting like a bitch and act like a man and stand up for the Lord's Prayer and stop sitting there getting on a bunch of, smile for the camera. I know you're gonna love it, Peg. It will come back to you. It's all particularly disturbing, but yeah, one thing leads to another. Here's the fix. Say what they mean what they say. One thing leads to another. Yeah, no, I did not see that coming with Ilhan Omar, I thought she was very sincere. I felt a sincerity in her affection for the people in the place of her origin that were being abused by corruption. Okay, I thought there was sincerity there, but I thought she had ego problems, and they were stroking her and playing her ego, is what I thought of Ilhan Omar. I found her very, like Professor Hendricks, I found her very attractive. I had a slight attraction to her because she seemed very sincere, and she seemed to really care about what she talked about. But there was a false sense of pride that's cloaked in arrogance to her too. And then I was like, so that's why I was immediately, jumped her, bust your shit. That's okay, bust your shit. I don't have that one over there. I need that one. That's one of my favorites. All you funny ass rappers, and I'm gonna bust your shit. Oh, I love it. I particularly like that one, But as far as your guys' shit, that I always bust your shit, no, it's particularly disturbing. Particularly disturbing. Okay, I love you very much. All you phony ass rappers, I'm gonna bust your shit. Yeah, that's anybody else like that? Keith Elam, Guru, Gangstar, and Preem's vids. If you haven't, you should. I think lots of people in the future of public domain will be, dancing to Barnett and say, boy, he is really pissed off. Well, they weren't wanting to live Christianity, the Islam of Christianity. That's pretty bad. Yeah, it is. All right, peace out.